Don't tell me you had to start it again, bro. We about to square up. All right, just making sure. Hey, listen, me and the cameraman, we about to go at it, bro. Well, listen, y'all, if you guys are just joining us, which you guys most likely are, we actually just filmed for like a good solid hour. We cooked all the food in the world. We did. Listen, we went ham. ColoredSmoke was really whipping it up in the kitchen.
Yeah, they were, man. Whipping up that pot.
You're going to see it. We'll still use the footage, but a lot was lost today. That being said, welcome to our podcast. This is the ColoredSmoke Podcast official. So we got a guest, Chef Daniel today.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Of course, man. This is going to be his homeboy right here. Longtime friend of the show. He's a chef, entrepreneur, coffee enthusiast. Man's got it all. If he's talking about a palate, he knows what he's doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Some very kind words.
Of course. If you want to see, actually capture this burger real quick.
Yeah, man. So what we did, like you said, we shot it all already. You guys will get to see some of it on the footage. But we made these burgers. These burgers were a brisket blend beef patty. So we seared it up. We put it on a brioche bun, and we put some good old government cheese on there, some American cheese. And then while we had some red onion and some jalapenos getting sauteed up, once they were nice and soft, we put those on top of the cheese, got it all nice and melted. And then simultaneously, we were making some makeshift cannabis butter, mainly just for flavor, not really any potency in there. So what we did was we took some butter, we browned it a little bit or toasted it up a little bit till it got a little bit brown. And then we added some garlic confit, which I sell at the markets, and we added that in there. And then we sprinkled some of this kryptonite in there.
Ooh, gotta love that.
And then we added a little bit of brown sugar, and we just let that all kind of bubble up and sizzle up with us. And then we drizzled that right on top of the sauteed onions and the jalapeno, topped it off with some cilantro, and then we took this bun right here and we just smashed it just like that. Because that's how you eat it. You eat it nice and smashed.
That's some food porn right there.
And these are just the leftover ones, man. So like he said, we kind of fixed these up fresh, and we all ate one. Now we're super stuffed, and we got the itis, but they look good as hell, man. And I appreciate you for letting me, do this with you guys and everything like that. It's been, a lot
definitely
of fun.
Won't be the last for sure. This definitely something we gotta do again. We got to do like an event or something like this. Because even that, that's passive.
Yeah, man. We could do a slider version of it, man, and everybody can kind of come and try out the cannabis burger.
Yeah. Yo, so actually, if you want to go over just real quick.
Yeah, 100%, whatever you want.
This is what you put in there, right? You sauteed this.
Yeah, so this was the onions and the jalapeno. We sauteed them up, man. Those are just sitting in there, as you can see. We had some brown sugar, some butter for our cannabis butter. Oh, you're right. I did leave out one ingredient that gave a lot of punch to the plate was the sesame oil. That's the sesame oil we use for the onions and the jalapeno. Obviously seasoned everything with a little bit of salt and pepper, and like I said, that good old American government cheese, man.
Yeah, I wish you guys heard our reaction, even from the cameraman too. They thought I was bullshitting, but honestly, it was delicious. It was very sweet. You could taste the garlic, but like he said, they had that sugar, the brown sugar, and it got real hard, so it gave it that nice crunch along with the onion. It was very
added a little bit of texture in there.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man.
It's most unique. Honestly, it's the most unique burger.
Now you got lunch for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true, right? Oh man, Papa Milk would love this.
Oh, you gotta take one.
Yeah,
man.
he would love that. But I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
So another question that I have for cannabis, like, how do you see it incorporated into like food? Because I know it has a flavor.
So for me, it's always been about flavor. I never really got into extracting, THC for butter or anything like that. I attempted it a couple times, and again, we didn't have YouTube as much back when I was doing this, so it kind of never really worked out. At least for me personally, on a potency level, I made cookies and brownies and everything like that, and I just, nothing really beat smoking for me. But then, as things became a little bit more streamlined, and we legalized medical marijuana here in Florida. You started seeing it get infused with food and stuff. And for me, that's when it clicked, the flavor. Because when I did, even though the potency didn't really do it for me when I was doing cookies and brownies and stuff, the flavor always did it for me. I always love that aroma, first of all, in the air. When you're baking them and everything, you can kind of smell it. And then obviously when you bite into it, as long as you don't burn it, it's got a really, really good palate to it. Kind of earthy, kind of sweet. Obviously very herby. I always kind of compared most to like an oregano, like a really fresh oregano. I don't know if you ever dealt with fresh oregano. that's kind of what that is. And even basil sometimes, when it buds up at the top, just like the cannabis plant, has a little bud up at the top. And, again, working in the restaurant industry, I always saw those little buds on top of the basil, and they always look like pot to me. So now it kind of all clicks. I mean, that is what cannabis is. It's an herb, it's a plant. So it does have a palate, it does have flavor, depending on where you get it from, has different flavor, just like cilantro. There's Indian cilantro, Mexican cilantro.
Yeah, that's true.
And they all taste a little bit different, and they all have like different potency levels on certain parts of the palate. Yeah. So same thing with cannabis, depending on what strain you got, it's gonna have a different flavor.
Terpene profile.
Yep. You get so that's where it clicked for me. And then lately, now that we're medically legal here, I have patients that hire me for either an event or just to cook for them privately, and we use kind of some makeshift cannabis butters, and sometimes grated in nice and fresh, almost kind of like with a zester, and kind of add that fresh profile to it too, not always just cooked. So there's a lot of different things you can do it. I've also done infused like vodka and tequila with cannabis, where you kind of let it sit in almost kind of steep a little bit in the alcohol, whatever.
The alcohol will help.
Extract a little bit. So all those kind of things, just been kind of playing around with it. And like I said, I think for most of us, this is kind of a new thing that we've gotten to play around with. So a lot of cool things probably still to come. I know myself, I'm still going to be playing around with it on a lot of different scopes and ways to kind of work it in there,
incorporate it into the meal,
100%,
and everything. Yeah, because a lot of people do have it like in the regiment. It's something that people really, they build their day around it. Not in a negative way, but it is something that's like, it's a very palatable, enjoyable way to like experience something, and that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's the flavor. Like earlier we picked up a little bit of that crystallized sugar from the brown butter that we were making, and after it got cold, that sugar hardened up a little bit, and I let you taste a little bit. And to me, it was it was very good. I would buy a lollipop like that flavor, or a cereal like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a little bag of just a little bag of those. You can reach
granola or whatever.
Exactly. I like that. That's pretty cool. So the future is very. It's exciting.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of room, stuff that you're not even thinking of right now. Like, in 5-6 years, you're gonna be like, holy crap, man! Like,
and we're gonna look back at
that's
this
a huge leap.
Yeah,
it's a huge leap. So. Yeah, man, I'm very excited about it. Very excited to, be a part of it, and, try to, just dive headfirst into the community of it. Like I said, we touched a little bit on the culture earlier and how kitchens and, the food industry is rested heavy on the culture that is created with it. You create a brotherhood or a sisterhood, or, the people you work with or your siblings were walking around with super sharp knives and playing around with fire and stuff. So it's like, if you don't have a good if you don't have good peers around you, or people that care about you, or you care about them, they're not going to care if you're about to burn yourself, you're about to spill something. And I've been blessed, to always have good people in my circle where, we look out for, hey man, look, you're about to burn that butter, or watch out, you're holding the knife, where you could hurt somebody. And, that kind of stuff is what I fell in love with in the food industry.
The people around
and
you.
I see that, it's the same for the cannabis industry. Everybody, looks out for each other. Everybody shares recipes, shares knowledge, shares, what they've done in the past, or even mistakes that they've done in the past. So
that stuff's important.
Yeah. So I think, that's what I fall in love with, on both sides. And now I get to mix them together, man. So it's a lot of fun.
So when did your love for like food start then?
Early. I mean, my parents, I grew up in a Latin household. Both my parents are from Ecuador. 99.5% of my family is Spanish. So, that revolves around a lot around food. Mainly because we work hard too, not that nobody else works hard, but I think that's where food becomes very important, where you have a family, up and coming, maybe just, got to the United States or whatever, they're up and coming for whatever reason, you work hard. And then after you work hard, you get home, you want some good food, you know? And nutritious food too. That was another big part of it with my families. Not only did we have to cook good, but we had a good cooked food that was going to put nutrition in the person for the next day to work, and to put food on the table and do that. So that's kind of where the passion started, man. And we've all gone through our different phases. I've gone through a few different phases where I've done carpentry, landscaping, plumbing, customer service, retail. I went through it all really, and just kind of try to find my way. And ultimately, after I went to college for film school, went to Full Sail, did that for about 3 years and stayed over there. I decided to move back home because I didn't want to go to a big city. I didn't want to live in New York. I didn't want to live in Atlanta or LA or anything like that. So I moved back to my hometown and then fell back in love with, the food, which I never it never fell off. It was just kind of took a back seat. Even in college during film school, I would be the one to make a big old thing of baked CD for everybody while they were, at the house, either studying or partying or whatever it is. I was always the one cooking. I didn't take notice to it. It was just something that I did. Later on in my career, when it got brought up, was that it was like, hey, did you notice that you were always the one cooking? I was like, oh shit, I was.
That's pretty dope.
So I was always into it. And I just didn't even know. So like I said, I didn't want to move to a big city, move back to my hometown, which is here in Port St. Lucie. And again, I was lucky enough to get into a French kitchen, Club Med, and then later on at a restaurant called Spoto's Oyster Bar, met a French chef that was, born in France, brought up, culinarily in all the schools over there. And he took me under his wing and taught me how to do all the fancy stuff, how to make all the fancy sauces, the basics, is what they consider, how to make French onion soup or how to make a soup, period, what makes a soup and, what it really takes, simple things like that. Really created a really, really good foundation for me to then take my own flavors, my own creativity and be creative with it. Now I know how to make a soup. Yeah, I can make French onion soup, but I'm going to make a spicy pepper soup now. Or, I'm going to take what I know as an enchilada and blend it all up, add some heavy cream. Now I got enchilada chowder. You know what I mean? So it's like when you learn all these foundations, chowder, brothy soups like French onion, marinara sauce, everything, Alfredo sauce. When you get that foundation that I was blessed with, again, not only from Chef Bruno, but Chef William and Chef Elvis, really laid a lot of those, staple parts of dishes for me. Polenta, risotto, all these things that are very basic when you cook them basic like that, but then you add your own thing. And again, cannabis is a big part of that because, in the future, you're going to see cannabis risotto, cannabis polenta, cannabis oatmeal, this and that. I mean, so I think, I was blessed with that. And, like anything else, once you start excelling at something, it kind of boosts you and you get a little bit of an ego boost and you want to learn more and dangerous and useful at the same time, because I think it propels you forward. And if you stay hungry like I do, one of my beliefs is that I'm never going to stop learning. Especially in the culinary world, I'm never going to stop learning, from different cultures, different countries, different flavors to different ingredients. Again, I'll mention the cannabis. That's a new ingredient that before, we were using it at homes to, bake cookies and stuff. But now I think it's just at the beginning of really what its potential is.
Adds
in
a whole new
culinary
layer.
World. So yeah, man, just a lot of excitement, a lot of exploration is another reason why I'm driven to
provide
to the food, to the food industry, and to provide and everything like that. As far as being an entrepreneur, I mean, I kind of always had a knack for that. And, when I was doing landscaping or just these little odd jobs, once I would master a skill, I would always try to, kind of build a business around it. But, again, nothing I was ever passionate about like I am about food. So once I mastered that and worked for restaurant partners for about 5 years, became an executive chef, did the whole career, was when I finally gained confidence to, become an entrepreneur for real about something I was really, really, really passionate about and dive headfirst. And then that's where we're at now, man.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah. And that brings us to today. Now
that brings us to today pretty much,
some
man.
Dope ass burgers. It tastes delicious, sweet, caramelized, the whole brown sugar, whole 9 yards. Very Spanish. The onions, onions. I mean, it's awesome. So
thank you, man.
That's a pretty sick journey, man. That's really awesome to hear. If you have like anything to say to the people like at home, people.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just want to say thank you to everybody, my peers, my mentors, Chef William, Chef Elvis, Chef Bruno, and then again all my cooks in the past and stuff. I definitely appreciate everybody that's been in my circle and rooted me on. Like I said, it's not for everybody. The kitchen world, and for people to say, hey, that's you. Go on, go deeper. That means a lot. So yeah, I'm very blessed, man, for all those people in my life. Yeah.
Perfect. That's exciting. Well, that about wraps it up for this segment right here. We're actually going to go sit down and have another conversation. But yeah, the burgers. That's what this is all about. the pain, the suffering that it took to get these to you guys today. If you guys only knew. But we have a good chef on hands, always taking care of us. So that's where we're going to end it. We'll talk to you guys later. See you the next episode. But this has been the first episode. Something does have to go wrong for the first time. Everyone says you will always remember your first. So we'll be back later. All right.
Thanks, man.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just
It looked
taller than
good
you,
to
so
me.
don't talk all that shit.
Terrell, you're pretty short, bro. The fuck? Ugh. This is my good side, bro. What we looking?